That's what happened to Japan. And that cluster Japan was pierced, and under the threat of invasion, America got the Japanese to open their market, and that is how Japan began to relate economically and politically to the Western nations. And they decided to change themselves, change their methods, change their business models, change their dress, and began interacting with the world. So it is in this background I began discussing with him. He told me, Mr. Gurumurthy, you know, you are bracket us with the West. Yes, I do bracket. Then I related to him that this is how I understand Japan. He said, no. We want to move away from the Western orbit and join the Asian school. I asked him, can you give me one piece of evidence as to how you are thinking about it, or you capable of achieving it? He said, my age is 45 now. When a person of my age comes to power in Japan, you will find the change. 3 or 4 years later, in the year 2001, when Koizumi became the Prime Minister of Japan, we could see the change, because Koizumi went and worshipped in the Yasukuni temple. To worship in Yasukuni temple was considered to be an act of war by the West. When he announced, I am going to worship in the temple, the entire West pounced on him, including China, Korea, Russia, Western countries. You know what? In Yasukuni Mandir there is no idol. 17,50,000 Japanese soldiers who have died in the last several centuries in the cause of Japan, their names, their addresses, the village in which they were born, the war in which they died is written in the walls of the Yasukuni. That is supposed to be the symbol of militant Japan. And when Koizumi went and worshipped in the temple, the whole world pounced on him. August 16th, 2001, he announced, I will go and worship in the temple. Whole world pounced. He didn't go that day. Next time on August 16th, 2002, he went and worshipped in the temple. Till today, all prime ministers started doing it. This is what that gentleman told me. This kind of change will take place. You will find an assertive Japan. But I am telling you today, the changes are taking place in Japan. And he also told one thing. Just before I came here, he authorized an aid of $2.5 billion for Burma, where the Americans want Suki to take over the country, and we will prevent it at all costs. You see this happening. And then I told him, how do you say that you want to work with Asia? Then he told me, you know what is our defense bill? $57 billion. We don't own a single soldier. We issue this check to America for them to render military services. We said we are incomplete as a nation. And we find that we have everything to do with India. Our Indology department is the best in the world. We know more about India, Indian civilization, Indian history, Indian arts, music, than people in India. We have built such a powerful Indology department in Tokyo University, because we know India is a long-term alive. I said, why don't you talk it out with our bureaucrats or politicians? He said in one sentence, I have actually reduced the whole conversation between him and me into a minute, and I circulated to some of the important people. He said, the moment I talk to your people like this, the next day your diplomats will ring up their American counterparts and say, this is what Kishimoto came and told me. Because your mind is tuned to their thinking and not to Asian thinking. Why I am mentioning it is, the time has come for us to shift our mind to Asia. There is money in Asia. There is production in Asia. There is effort in Asia. There is discipline in Asia. There is relationship-based societies in Asia. But your educational institutions, your media, your public discourse, we'll say none of these, because our entire public discourse is Western. So I see some of the best minds here. I thought of sharing this.